All right, welcome everybody to another Wichita Paramotor Coast to Coast. I've got my gorgeous co-host here, Jael. My name's Leo, and today we get the exciting opportunity to talk to Landon March from Endless Foot Drag. Also, we'll go check out Cangook, Light Flight, and USPPA like usual. But this program is brought to you by Light Flight and Cangook America, as well as JDW Printing and Beyond. So we're going to do what we usually do. We are going to talk to paramotor people, paramotor things, and paramotor stuff. Don't go away. All right, and we're back. So today, I am lucky enough, I've been trying to get this guy on the show for quite a while, and he's just so busy. And one of the reasons why is Landon here puts on Endless Foot Drag here in Fredonia, Kansas. All right, everybody, welcome Landon March.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We are really, really, really excited to have you out here. You know, you've been a big influence in paramotor, especially in Kansas. And, you know, I'm excited to talk to you about all the cool stuff. So my first question is, man, tell us a little bit about, you know, where you come from, what you do, how you got started, and we'll talk about paramotors.
Well, I grew up here in the Wichita area. I actually went to school with Jael and always been interested in flight my whole life. Was actually working towards a pilot license quite a few years ago. And like a lot of people in this sport, I came across a video on YouTube that
Was it a Tucker God
it
video?
was a Tucker video.
Was it the McDonald's episode?
It was. That intrigued me, and I was like, what in the world is this guy doing? And just watched more and more, and then determined, no, I need to figure this out and get into this. And so I did. At the time, I was helping a friend who owned an ultralight business build some planes, and he was going up to Oshkosh each year to promote the business. And so when I learned about this, we were getting ready to go up there again, and I told myself, well, I'm going to see if these things are up there, and I'm going to talk to some people and get some information. And so that's what I did, and met with a couple different people, and talked to one guy that ended up, that's where I went and got training with him and his sons up in Wisconsin back in May of 2018. So that's when I learned.
Wow, you've been flying for quite a while then, 2018, so 7 years now?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
What's, I have to ask, I ask everybody this, so what is, what's been the scariest thing that you ever dealt with flying a paramotor?
Scariest would be weather. Just either something unexpected came up or
Caught in the air, or?
yeah, caught in the air, stuff like that. We're going to talk a little bit later about the trip I went on in Iceland, and that's probably some of the sketchiest stuff I've flown in. We hit some turbulence one day that it was 3 different glaciers had cold air coming down and converging with air coming in off the ocean in this valley. And the turbulence we hit was unreal. When I hit it, my wing went 45 degrees behind me.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, you know, that's going to shoot forward. And so
Yeah.
I was ready for it.
Well, that's risk of parachute stall as well.
Sure. And so that thing came rocketing forward. And by the time I got it to stop moving forward, my hands were full flare.
Oh.
And that wing was 45 degrees in front of me at a 45 degree angle.
Oh man.
And so It handled it fine. No deflations or anything like that.
What were you flying on?
I was flying an Ozone Spider, which
Spider.
is a pretty low end wing, but it handled it amazing and really put a lot of trust in myself on just what these things are capable of handling.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about Paramotor is these wings are super, super stable.
Yeah.
And, of course, when you go up in wing rating, they get less stable, they recover less. But overall, I mean, they are absolute dynamite at handling stuff, reinflating. A and B wings are the best at that, but, it lends to a lot of the safety, so especially out there for the new guys. So by the way, everybody, I don't know if you can tell, you can hear some of the backgrounds and whatnot, and you can see all the awesome paramotors around Landon. We are in the hangar today,
We are
out here
live,
in Norwich, Kansas.
live from Hangar 5.
Live from Hangar 5, I love it. So, you were talking about Iceland, and I know you have sent us some awesome video here real quick and some really good pictures. So don't forget folks, this is a one-man show. So if we go so that is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. That is, the name of it is Melifell. I can't spell that for you.
It's Icelandic spelling.
Yeah, it's Icelandic spelling. That is what's known as the famous green volcano. It's not actually a volcano, but covered in lime green moss, surrounded by black lava fields. So it stands out just incredible. It just glows. So that was one thing I was hoping that we'd get to see when I was over there. So
That is absolutely beautiful.
that was a bucket list picture for me to be able to take. And then these next few are an area a little more inland called Thorsmork. That's just,
Thorsmork?
yeah, just really rugged, jagged, carved out of the ground looking stuff.
I
So,
feel like that would be a place, Thor would hang out.
yeah, that is where part of the name came from.
Gratuitous foot pick.
Yep, you gotta do it to prove you were there, not in an airplane.
Is that, again, over Thorsmork?
Yeah, same spot there. You can hike up in there, but this area right here in this picture, you would be looking at 4 to 5 days to hike to there.
So if you motored out here, you were screwed.
Well, we all had to, it was mandatory to have insurance that covered the helicopter rescue. Otherwise, you're paying for the helicopter out of pocket, which we
Oh,
heard
my
was
goodness.
10 grand minimum. So,
That river in that bottom's absolutely beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, Landon.
Same spot, but we had a low cloud base, and a few of the guys chose to climb up through the clouds, and that's what they were met with. And it's just unreal to see the mountains poking up through. And
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love getting over the clouds, man. That's, it's like this blanket of cotton that you
Yeah.
fly up over. Like, you remember, well, of course you do, the morning, I think it was not last year, but the year
yeah,
before,
2 years ago.
we got up in the
Yep.
fog.
Yep.
And, I mean, it was pretty, but also a little bit frightening to say the least.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting out of the air and going chasing like
You-
3 or 4 pilots.
Yeah, you had some picking up to do.
We got cows.
Yeah, we got cows. And I know we keep making reference to that story, but it actually happened at EFD. And, it was a lot like this without the cool mountains.
Yeah.
But we got up into the air and it was this blanket of fog. And, by the time we got up, everybody started losing
Visibility.
visibility to the ground. So of course, because of USPPA or FAR 103, pilots had to start getting out of the air. And the crazy part is they didn't know where they were coming down.
Yeah,
You know, one guy landed at that gas station by the roundabout,
yeah,
and when he told me where he had come in at, he barely missed the light poles and
Yeah.
the power lines and stuff like that. So, you know, they got really lucky, but, yeah, landing in a field full of cows. So, all right, let's go to the next one here. Oh, dude,
same area, that's
just
sort of
deeper
like-
down in the canyon?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So were you getting a lot of wind and whatnot coming up through these canyons?
No, it
Canyons?
was, I don't wanna say it was dead calm, but it was very low wind. I mean, we were able to get as close as you felt comfortable with, which you start getting close to a cliff face and you're like, yeah, I don't really wanna get any closer than that. But
Was it, for your trip, was it relatively smooth air for the whole thing, or?
well, the way they do this trip is, I'd always wondered that, like, okay, so I'm paying to go on this trip, so what happens if the weather's just crap the whole time you're there? Well, what he does is looks at the weather each day over the entire country and drives to where the weather's good. So Iceland is the size of New York State.
So you can get anywhere in 3-4 hours?
So, yeah, so depending on the weather, you might fly the west coast in the morning and the east coast the next morning. So we drove to where the weather was good, so we got 10 flights in 10 days. So we flew.
Wow.
Nice.
Were they mostly evening, morning flights?
They were both.
Really?
Morning and evening usually. I think there was only 2 days that we didn't get flying in.
So you had to haul your paramotor and everything, put it on an airplane and the whole bit, or did
can.
you rent a?
I rented. You can definitely take your own, but just with dealing with customs and shipping and all that, I didn't want to get all the way over there and then it's like, oh, the airline broke your stuff. Like, okay, so now what?
Right.
So I just rented.
Was it your Spider or you rented one there?
No, I took my wing. So I took my wing, but I rented a motor.
Right on.
Gotcha.
Crammed my Spider into a carry-on. And then, of course, you get the airline announcement of, we're running out of overhead bin space, so we may need to check bags. And I went up to the counter and I was like, I'm not checking this bag. And like, need to figure something out. And the lady asked why, and I said, well, it's a $4,000 bag. And she's like, well, you may need to take some stuff out. And I said, it's one thing. What am I taking out? She goes, oh, I don't know. So anyway, one of the flight attendants was like, no, we've got room for you. It's fine. So they made an exception on that. I was
Good.
Nice.
glad we got through that okay.
Oh, man.
It's like,
I
man,
couldn't imagine. I think it was, I want to say it was Ron Turan told me when he went to Egypt, they lost his stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have, I would have been absolutely livid.
Yeah.
Well, you better go find it.
Well, yeah, right. I've seen too many videos of bags falling off of the little trucks driving around.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want to see my wing bouncing down.
Oh.
Like,
Or
go-
some drug-addicted bag carrier that goes, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
So, all right. Again, another gratuitous foot pig. Oh, man, these are beautiful.
There's not a bad spot in that country to fly. Like, just everywhere we went was like this.
Now, I'm like you, all these ridges and these mountain edges and whatnot, I'd be pretty nervous where I was putting my wing.
Yeah. Most of our LZs were pretty decent. We took off from rocks a couple times, but not like small gravel. It was bigger river rock.
Gotcha.
A lot of
Not
the time,
something to tear up your wing.
no, most of the time it was grass of some sort.
Nice. So what was this spot?
This is pretty much smack dab in the middle of the country. It's an area called Landon March that somehow in some form translates roughly to something like Rainbow Mountains or something like that, because the rock formations have so many different colors. You've got bright yellows and oranges to grays to greens to even some purples and teal all mixed into the rock.
This is beautiful.
So we flew here, and there's actually a hot spring here that you can camp at and swim in and everything. So we actually flew from where we took off from to that first green mountain that we had the first picture of, to this hot spring, and landed, swam for an hour, and then took back off and flew back
Oh,
home.
dude.
So,
That sounds amazing.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Now,
Yes, we can go.
can we go to Iceland?
Yeah, we can go.
We
it's
can go?
totally worth it.
Dude, this is amazing. And, you know, being a pilot, this has got to be one of those trips of a lifetime.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's worth every bit of the effort and expense to go, because there's nothing like it. It was such an amazing trip. I didn't fly for a month when I got home because I was like, what's the point? Got nothing but wheat fields, and after coming home from that,
Yeah, it's just boring, right?
yeah,
Yeah, one of my bucket lists, and part of it is because I saw, you know, all the videos from Ron, but I want to fly the Giza Plateau so bad.
that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh, you know, and be able to go places, you know, fly over the Valley of the Kings and the pyramids, and, you know, seeing Cairo from, because I understand Cairo's down the cliff from all that. That'd be absolutely
That
spectacular.
would be cool.
So, okay, and then, let's go back to that pretty picture. All right, on to the next.
So that's that same spot, just rotated probably 90 degrees from where the other picture was taken.
Gotcha, just looking off to the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, look at those river valleys.
So when I don't think I included a picture, but when we came into this hot spring, that valley on the left of the picture with the bigger river,
Yeah?
we came in on that side through that canyon. And when we landed, every single one of us from multiple countries all said, did that valley make you think of the movie, I just lost it, with Falcor and
Oh,
Lord
the
of the
never-ending
yeah, the
story.
never-ending
Oh,
story.
never-ending
just-
story?
Yeah, and we were all like, "You thought that too?" And like, "I thought no." And like we're all pointing at each other, like we all had the same thought: just cliffs just going up both sides and the river below. And
So you guys were guided too, right? So you had a pilot in front of you, you all were chasing?
with us, not always following, but just always keeping a sight of each other and checking in. And hey, have you seen so and so in a while? And yeah, he's over there. And so all on radios with everybody.
You guys were on comms then?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Dude, this is spectacular. I gotta go back to this.
So
Man,
you can
it
see
does.
we got two wings in that picture too, if you look. Got
Yeah.
a red one and a blue one.
Yeah, yeah, I can see them. That is absolutely beautiful.
So we're
And
gonna
the
go
snow, was it cold?
from, daytime, it was in the 50s,
Okay,
not bad. But you get overcast and towards evening, it was dropping down into the upper 40s. So it was cool, for sure.
so flight suit weather
Definitely.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely, for sure, so.
Nice, nice.
So we're gonna go from these pictures to a couple later. I'm gonna really freak you out. So,
I like being freaked out.
so yeah, just unbelievable scenery.
Is this that same valley, just
Yep.
looking at a different angle?
Yep.
Wow. Man, that is so picturesque, those great big snow-capped mountains in the back.
Yeah, that, and the upper left is a small glacier, and we actually flew up and over that to get down into this area. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
just crazy flying over. I mean, like coming up on smooth water to do a foot drag, you have zero depth perception.
Right.
And it was the same thing here. You're just looking at an ice cap, and you're like, I don't know if I'm 200 feet or 20 feet, or I don't know.
Oh, man.
So, just crazy.
But yeah, luckily you didn't have to land on a glacier.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Oh, man.
So there you can see that's not edited. That's just how those mountains glow in the sunlight.
So is this morning or
Wow.
evening?
This is evening.
Wow. And I assume that's the hoop of your motor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was over my right shoulder, looking back behind me.
That is spectacular. And look at that blue sky.
Yeah.
Such a contrast.
So there's where we landed for the hot spring. We just left our motors sitting on the berm that separated the campground from the river, and
Wow, did they at least tell you to pack a bathing suit?
yeah, we all wore them under our, our
Flight
flight
suits?
suits.
That's pretty awesome.
But was it a cold flight back?
Yes, it was. So this is that area after we left the hot spring, and we're flying back to our LZ. So this is facing the sunset, which is the opposite direction we need to go. So all of those pictures earlier were facing back to the east. This is facing west.
West.
So that's what we saw when we left. And then I think the next picture is over my shoulder facing the sunset as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we saw when we left. Now, this flight, we fit 2 locations into one trip, and so we knew we were going to be really tight on fuel. Like, we can do it, but we're going to be really close. So we made the first stop. The second stop was the hot spring, and then we took off there and flew back to our LZ. So we all know we're tight on fuel. Like, we even looked at all the motors and like even fuel out between, like, well, you've got a lot more than he does and he's going to need more. So we're like making sure everybody's got enough. And so we're taking off. We don't know this area. None of us have flown here before. We're low on fuel. It's getting late. Sun's going down. And the next picture is what we were flying into. So imagine flying into this knowing I don't have a lot of fuel.
Let me go to the next one. Oh, my.
Oh dear.
Oh, my.
What's flat ground in that picture? I don't know. Like, none of it.
There's like no motor out spot.
No. And where's your LZ? I don't know. We know the direction we've got ahead, but
Is that your guide out in front of you?
no, that's one of the other guys in the trip. So several of us had the same thought, and I thought about it for a while of, do I just maintain level flight to conserve fuel, or do I go full throttle and get altitude so I can glide? Like, what do I do? And I opted for full throttle, max glide. So I just
Gotcha.
went full throttle for like 20, 25 minutes, just getting way the heck up there. Figuring, well, if I'm gonna run out, I'd rather be a mile high than 1,000 feet.
Right. Give you more
Um,
options.
So none of us actually ran out of fuel. We all made it back okay. And turns out it wasn't as far back as we thought. And so I started recognizing some landscape, and I'm starting to look around because I see a couple of the other guys losing altitude. And I look straight down and I'm right over where I need to be, but I'm like 1.5 miles up. So I did wingovers for 10 minutes just to get down because I was like, well, I didn't realize we were that close. So I would have dropped sooner, but super cool. That flight, I mean, I know you're that far north, so that's kind of cheating a little bit, but I like to claim that on that flight, I landed at 10 minutes after midnight,
Technically,
which
would have been,
Yeah.
yeah, that is.
Yeah, I
Which
guess-
nuts.
over there, they don't have the regulations we do, but being in summer, it just didn't get super dark at night, and so we didn't have the regulation of
Wonder
being
what
down.
what's the thermal situation for the parts of the world that have like 24-hour sun for 3 weeks?
It might not be bad because it's such a steep angle, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
They may not be getting hot enough to be
Well,
super drastic.
And on
but-
top of that, like, is there licenses required and whatnot? Did you have to fill out a questionnaire? Did you have to take a safety course?
Not for Iceland. There's some European countries that are pretty strict, and like they've got to have ID numbers on their wings and all sorts of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, but Iceland is very, very free, so.
Cool.
Wow, wow, I gotta go back to this. It's like it almost looks like you're flying into a storm.
Yeah,
Is this the freak me out photo?
yeah.
Yeah, because I
That's
would have
just
been
like-
freaked out.
to know that you're low on fuel and that's where you have to go, just kind of,
Now, on the bottom right there, that streak, is that a river or a glacier or?
I think that is, I think you're actually seeing gravel, but there is a river in that. So like if you back up 2 or 3 more pictures, back to where you had the valleys with the rivers, I think you're seeing all of that gravel, but there is a river running through that as well.
Wow, that is nuts. Oh man, is that the glacier?
That's one of them. That's me going over it. And then, so this was one of the guys in my trip that got this picture, and I think the next picture he was able to get of me. So I went and dropped down pretty close. You can't see it in that picture, but
I didn't see a little red wing in there.
those crevices in that glacier are wider than my wing.
Oh,
Like you fly over them and you look and you're like, there's no way you'd get out of that. Like they'd have to,
Crevasse.
yeah, they're just massive.
Oh wow.
So he got a shot of me mid-wing over going down the face of this glacier, which is one of my favorite pictures.
That
Heck
is
yeah.
spectacular. Holy crap. Wow. And you're in a wing over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's facing like down the slope and then I'm turned up on edge right there.
nice.
Man.
Because the darker ice that you're seeing going up and off towards the right is more horizontal, ground level.
Gotcha.
So, wow. So I think the next one we have for you is a video.
Okay. This is kind of in the Thorsmork area. We were just flying in this little valley or canyon that had a river in it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Right off a waterfall.
That felt like flying inside with those cliffs just going up both sides.
That is spectacular with the birds. It
Yeah.
almost reminds me like something out of Avatar.
Very much so.
Hear the wind going through your lines. Now, did you have a handheld camera here, or were you
This
on a
was
GoPro?
cell phone.
Cell phone.
Yeah.
You can see how the pilots were all spread out.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. Okay, and then this is super green.
So this is in the Flint Hills this past Friday evening.
Oh, this is local.
So this is local. So this kind of gets into talking about EFD, and you know, this is very similar terrain to what is close to Fredonia, and what people can kind of look forward to if they come out there.
So, tell us a little bit about EFD and how you got started. You know, what it's been like. This is your 4th year, 5th year?
This will be my 4th run.
4th year.
Yeah. So I learned to fly in May of 18, and actually went to my first EFD 3 days after class.
Oh, wow.
Just the way it ended. Class ended on a Monday morning, and then I came home, went back to work for the week, and then went out to EFD on Friday. My instructors came down and they were there. They had a motor for me to fly and a wing for me to fly because my gear wasn't in yet. And I only flew in the mornings. Watching in the evening was
Plenty for you.
plenty good for somebody 3 days out of class. I was like, no, I'm fine down here. So that was my first EFD, and then went in 19, 20, and 21, and then Michael passed away in 21, like 3 weeks before the event.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry.
So the guys that helped
Fix the
him,
crinkle.
the guys that helped him a lot, threw it all together and made it happen in 2021. They were looking at, do we cancel it or do we try to make it work? And so they opted to make it work, and then they figured out that Michael had all the info in his head. So who do I call for a note?
Oh,
It was in
no.
his head. Who do I call for restrooms and this and that and get in the airport mode? And he had all the contacts, and so they had to scramble to figure all that out and make it happen. And they did a fantastic job with it and pulled it off. They've admitted that it was very stressful doing that, and I can fully see that. So they did that in 21, and then Damon Turner was one of the guys. Cameron Klein was another. Damon kind of acted more of like the head that year. And he started making calls during the winter, 21 going into 22, seeing if there was somebody interested in taking it over, because that was not really something he felt like he wanted to continue doing. A lot of it was just he got a lot thrown at him in 21 to make it happen, and I think that played a big factor. So he gave me a call one day, and I couldn't take the call at the time, but I saw who it was, and I told my wife later, I said, Damon called me today, and I'm positive he's gonna ask me to be an air boss, and I don't wanna do that. I'm not that authoritative, like, go around and, hey, you knock that off type personality. And so I called him back when I got a chance, and I was just waiting for the question of, hey, would you be willing to help with this? And instead I got hit with a, do you want to take it over? And it was just like literally like jaw open type moment. Like I told him, that is not the question I was expecting you to ask me right now. And he laughed. And so we talked about it for a while, and I said, well, can I take some time to think about this? Like, this is
That's a big
it's a
responsibility.
big thing to
Big
take
deal.
over. And he said, yeah, take the time you need. Not in a rush on this. We just want to figure out if somebody else can do this. And so it was at least a week, if not 2 weeks, to think about it and talk about it with my wife, and we weighed the pros and cons. And, up to this point, I'd been going to EFD for, 3 or 4 days. I'd take a day or two off of work and go the tail end of the week. And so now I'm looking at, we have to commit a full week of my vacation time from work
10 days,
to
isn't
this. Well, if you include both weekends, it is. So now I'm looking at, instead of taking Wednesday, Thursday, or just Thursday, I'm looking at Monday, like the whole week. So that's gonna limit other stuff we can do, because that's one less week of leave time I have at work available. And is that what we want to commit this to for the foreseeable future? Talked to Damon a little bit more, asked a few more questions, and ultimately decided that I would go ahead and do it, because I had seen in the few years going what this has become to mean to the town. And I had heard at the event in 21, I'd heard several people say they would be willing to take it over, or they'd be willing to help, or whatever. So I knew there was other interest, but these were all out-of-state people.
Right.
Nothing against that at all, but I knew
This was a local event.
this was a local event, and I knew if you get somebody from out of state taking it over, they'll try to keep it here. But after a year, 2 years, 3 years, that's gonna become a real pain planning this event when you live 10 hours away, and then they'll move it, and then it's gone. And I thought, you know what, it's like the only big one in this part of the country. There's big ones up in the Ohio area, there's big ones down in Georgia, there's big ones out in the Southwest. There's nothing really here. So if this one leaves, our closest big fly-in would be an 8-hour drive minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus the town would lose it. And so I just thought, if for nothing else, I'll take it over to keep it here, because it's an 1.5-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that went. And then here we are getting ready to do the fourth 4th year that I've been running it, so.
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, we are super, super thankful that you decided to take this on. And, you know, to be honest, I don't know Endless Foot Drag before Landon March, but the show that you guys put on with you and your staff is utmost safety concerns, spectacular, good vendors, good events,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. You know, and you guys make it really easy to come to this event and fly. And, you know, I mean, with all considerations, you guys, you know, with all the safety and everything like that, you still open it up, you know, and with the tandems and whatnot, let people come out that have never experienced
Yeah.
this event,
Yeah.
that, you know, somebody can get the bug.
Yep.
You know, and people travel from all over the country
Yeah.
to come out here and look at foot drag.
Yep, they do. And that's what makes it enjoyable. My whole goal with it is I don't want to be the biggest fly-in the country. I have no desire for that title. I would like to be one of the most fun, and I think from comments that people have made directly to me, that's kind of where we're at, is
Yeah.
people enjoy coming to it. You know, like you mentioned on safety, I want people to be safe. I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want property to get damaged. I don't want the city's property to get damaged. But outside of that, I want everybody to have fun. I don't have to like what you're doing, but if you're being safe and you're not putting yourself or others at risk, have fun,
Go for
you
it.
know? I don't wanna micromanage everything about this. You know,
Right.
here's a community thing we can all come together and enjoy. Here's some guidelines to keep it safe. Here's some things the city's asked of us. As long as we keep all of that,
Well, and you
I'm
mentioned
good.
the town, and the town is Fredonia, Kansas, but we grew up in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
The townspeople out there are part of what makes that event so much fun because they
Exactly.
get involved.
Yeah.
They come see us.
Yep.
They invite us out. They feed us.
Yeah.
They,
Yep.
I don't think you'd find that anywhere else.
No, and that has really blown a lot of people's minds who have been first-time attenders. They're like, wait, the city wants us here? Like, I'm losing LZs back home because the city's writing ordinances to keep us from flying and all that stuff. And then they come here and they're like, wait, so they want us here? I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd like you to fly to the farm so they can feed you
So,
burgers.
so yeah, the past 2 years, we've had a couple in town. She is a professional caterer, invited all of us to their home for a meal that she cooked. Phenomenal food.
Yeah, I went to her
And
first
the-
year. She was
Yeah.
excellent.
She came by the airport early in the week that year, and she said, "Hey, I wanna cook for you guys." And I just looked at her and I said, "You do know how many there are, right?" She said, "Oh yeah, I know." And I said, "Potentially inviting 100 people to your house," and she said, "I don't care. I want to do it." And I said,
I remember chatting with her. She
Okay.
worked with Michael.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason she
Yeah,
likes to
so-
do it, is because
Yep.
it's kind of a way to honor him, because
Yep.
she worked with him.
and so we went there again last year. It was a little bit more flyable last year, so there was less of a turnout there. But she also reached out to friends of hers in the area, and she lined up enough people who were willing for us to fly to their homes that we could have had every meal for the whole week covered.
Oh, wow.
Like,
You
and-
gotta be kidding me.
So at first I was like, that's amazing. And then I got thinking about, well, we support so many restaurants in town. I don't want to have a free meal everywhere for the whole week. And then these restaurants are like, what happened? You know, you guys.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because Pizza Hut, do they still paint
Yeah.
their logo?
well, they didn't do that last year. So maybe they will this year. I don't know. So I picked out a few that we could go to, spread out throughout the week. So we went to her house again for dinner one night, and then later in the week we flew to somebody's property for breakfast. And I said, you know, guys, I can't give you a number. I can tell you how many pilots are registered. I can't tell you how many are going to participate. You know, you could have 100 people think it's super cool. You could have 100 people that think, I'm just gonna go into town and get breakfast myself when I'm done flying. Like I'm at a fly-in, I'm not worried about food. And so I said, I cannot give you any numbers on this, so I'm just gonna say, we are not picky. If you wanna go pick up 2 dozen donuts and 2 gallons of orange juice, we'll be happy. And so we show up to this place for breakfast. They've gone and bought donuts. They've got multiple coffee pots going. They're actively making pancakes. They've got scrambled eggs, bagels, bacon, sausage, all this stuff. Fresh cooked on site. And I was like, you guys didn't need to do this. And they're like, oh, we know, we wanted to. And everybody had a blast. And then that evening, we flew to a different family's house, landed in their field. Same thing, just like homemade chili and cinnamon rolls and all this
Oh
stuff.
man,
Just,
and it's like people don't. He's from Las Vegas, so he's a Nevada boy, but we know about chili and cinnamon rolls.
yeah. So just amazing that they want to do this, and it was set up as donation if you wanted to. They weren't asking for a penny from us. They just wanted us to come to their property and be involved in the event. And so that brings them into it more, so that they feel like they're a part of it, rather than just this event happens around them. They want us to come to their houses. So we're gonna do that again this year with a couple places.
Fantastic.
Nice.
One of my favorite parts is, and I did it the one year, but we all get up on one of the mornings and we'll go fly around the town.
Yeah.
Fly around the whole town.
The whole town, yeah. That was, that started in 21, that year that Damon and Cameron took over running it. It was done as a memorial parade for Michael,
Gotcha.
just to get as many of us in the air at one time as possible and just make a lap around the town. And each year it's progressively gotten a little more lax and spread out, which is fine, because the first year we did it, it was just this massive line of us, just over 100 of us all together making a lap. And then in the years since, we get more spread out to where you've got a guy almost back to the airport while somebody's still launching. So then you now
Yeah.
have this continuous line rather
More of
than
a
this.
parade.
Yeah, so they both,
2023 when I was taking pictures,
it was just,
it was taking off on this side of the runway and landing on this side of the
yeah,
runway.
so that's really cool both ways, however it happens. But the town really loves that, and they just really like us being involved and being able to be.
I think like I said, I think that makes the event, because it's everybody can't wait to go to that one little kitchen.
Yeah,
there.
kitchen table.
Yeah, kitchen table. I mean, that's and the little Mexican restaurant
Yeah.
that's down there. And I noticed the last time I was going through Fredonia, I don't think the little tiki, the little parrot Jimmy Buffett bar is still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked.
I didn't see it the last time I was
Yeah.
there, but they might still be there. I went to the library one year to use their internet to upload all the 5,000 pictures I used. They have an amazing like children's area in their library, and I think that we kind of, all of us go around and then we go tell everybody about how great Fredonia, Kansas is.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, we're locals, so
Sure.
yeah, of course we know Fredonia's great.
Yeah.
But for the guys that come from out of town, they're like, this tiny town in Fredonia
Yeah,
is like the
yeah.
best place to fly ever.
Yeah, yep.
Well, and like when we were still doing business out in Fredonia, we
Yeah.
had a delivery route, and we'd go out there every week, and we'd see somebody new each time. You guys, oh, hey, you fly the paramotors, you're coming back this year, right?
Yep.
That's still happening, right?
Yep.
Yep. They're,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's and it's, I mean, it's a great little town if you're looking for somewhere to settle down, but
Yeah.
it's an awesome event just
Right.
in general.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the kitchen table, there's several restaurants in town that are just fantastic to go to, and they all love having us. And then Pizza Hut, for those who don't know, it's like a practice field, practice soccer field next door. And there's a 15% discount for any pilot that flies in and has dinner. So, you know,
Nice.
what other fly-ins have that option? I mean,
Right.
that's getting to,
Even the liquor store one year called and was like, "Hey, we're putting in our order. Do you guys have anything special that you want us to order?"
yeah,
Which we all know is for the evening after flights.
right, right.
Well, paramotorists like to drink in general. I've noticed.
Quite a few of them do.
Yeah.
So, also talking more about foot drag. So we've got some pictures here, that are gonna be a foot drag as well, right?
I think I've probably only got some Flint Hills stuff just to show the scenery. I don't know if I got any actual,
Well, let's look at some of those. So again, you said, I thought this was more of Greenland, or Iceland, but,
no, this is Cottonwood Falls area.
you said this was Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So 3 days ago.
Yeah, I saw something the other day. Somebody posted about I'm having a bucket list of flying the Flint Hills. I was like, great. So we'll see you at the end of September.
Yep, you better be there.
Gosh, look at that, little winding creek through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a dirt road.
Well, yeah, there is a dirt road. There's also
Look down at the bottom there.
Oh yeah.
a creek thing that's figure eighting.
They're both winding.
Where the buffalo roam. Oh, that's a beautiful picture, Landon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for the people that think Kansas is flat, there's Kansas for you. So.
Yeah. Accurate.
And that's the turnpike there, in kind of the middle left, weaving through there. So you drive right by it and you don't know that's what it looks like from above.
Oh, wow. That's a 35?
Yeah.
Yeah, going up towards Emporia.
Wow. Oh, check that out.
We were all doing touch and goes on the tops of little hills, and so there's a couple guys. One of them just took off, and the other's got his wing laid out there.
Nice.
Looks like that's it, huh?
Probably.
Yep, that was the last one you brought with us.
That was
But there
pretty
is a
spectacular.
Facebook group called EFD Photos that has photos and videos from years past.
Yep. Yep, there's that one, and then just the general Facebook page of Endless Foot Drag. That'll have all sorts of event information. Once we get closer to that one will become more active as
Yeah.
things
Yeah, it
that
happens
happen.
every year. It
Yeah,
gets
it
really
just-
active for the first like month and a half afterwards,
Yep.
and then nobody
And
really
it
thinks about it for the rest of the year.
Yep, yep.
Holy crap. Well, I'll tell you, man, I'm so excited, super excited about, being at EFD again this year. And we've actually got our logo on the t-shirt this
You
year.
do. Yep.
And,
We got it in time this year.
Yeah.
We were late last year.
and if you'll still let us, we're still planning to be vendors
Yep, absolutely.
and do that. kind
Not
of
spray
thing.
painting though. That
That's
was
That was fun, but
that was a rainy week.
Yeah,
That was hard on us.
yeah. That was a lot of work for sure.
Yeah. So give us all the details, dates, times, cost, everything.
$60 cash for pilots, just pay the day of when you arrive. Opening day is Sunday, September 21st at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it'll run through. I announced that it ends Saturday, the 27th, because we have such a large amount of the public that comes out and watches us. You're free to hang out and camp until Sunday and then pack up and head home. I don't advertise that, or we'll have the public showing up on Sunday evening going, where are you guys at?
Right.
So it officially ends Sunday morning. You can get a flight
Well, and in the
if it's
years past,
flyable.
not very many people stay that late because
Right.
people have to go back to work.
Yep,
And
yep. So you can head home Saturday if you want, but if you want to hang out and camp Saturday night, get a flight in Sunday morning and then head home, that's fine. If Sunday morning is going to be junk, just head home
Yeah.
whenever you want. But camping on site, whether you're in a motorhome or a tent, we've got designated tent camping areas, which we've also kind of started making the non-generator zone for people who are camping in a camper, but they don't have a generator and they want it
Quieter.
They can be off over in that area. The city lets us park on the runway, so if you're bringing your motor home or your toy hauler or whatever, or you've got a little trailer you converted to a camper, we're all parked on the runway. Restrooms will be on site. There's free water on site, so if you're bringing a toy hauler and you've got a 50-gallon water tank for your shower and sink and whatever, you can fill it on site rather than hauling all that weight with you. And then the city built us a shower house that's on site. It's free to use.
Which is actually pretty nice.
Which
We've been in
is,
it.
yeah, so that's available.
Captain 6'7", doesn't matter how much water your tank holds, it's not, he's
Yep.
not tall enough to fit, he's too tall to
Yep.
fit into an RV shower.
So we've got that. The hangar, we get set up as kind of a lounge area to hang out. There'll be board games. Lone Star Paramotor brings a lot of instruments, trap set, guitars, things like that for people that want to play during the day. We've done a karaoke night a couple different nights that people really enjoy. We've done movie nights a couple different nights, projecting on the hangar wall.
That's a lot of
So
fun.
got a lot of stuff going on to keep you busy during the day and all sorts of other stuff. So if
It's
you're
always
into,
fun to go explore the town, there is stuff
Yeah,
to see and do
there's-
in Fredonia.
there's stuff to see and do. I think this year coincides with Old Iron Days, so if you want to go check out this old time farm equipment type show, that'll be available. They enjoy having us fly in there too. Typically the times that we're flying, they're not open, so they don't open till mid-morning and then they shut down around 3 or 4, so
Oh, right on.
kind of missing our flight windows, but if it works, they like having us come in there too.
Will you guys be doing the tandems and whatnot this year?
Yeah, we've got Lone Star's planning on doing them, and I think Rick Spittler is going to help out as well. And, just
Matter of
provide-
fact, Rick is watching. And
I,
Rick,
I heard he was threatening that.
yeah, Rick, you know, I'd love to bring you on before Endless Foot Drag. That way you can talk about what awesome work you guys do with the tandems and the cool people that you guys get up. And plus, you know, just have you on the show because, you know, you're cool or something.
So, yeah,
So now you guys do a pilot meeting every,
got a briefing every day, so that just kind of goes over the basics, reiterating some of the rules and guidelines that the city wants us to follow, and then just some safety protocol, just for everybody's safety, you know, no ground starting, stuff like that. But then with it being a daily briefing, we can also include things that happened the previous day. If we had an issue arise, we can address that, like, you know, if
Flying
somebody got
finger boy.
injured, we can address that, just to make people aware, like, hey, don't know if any of us ever thought this could happen, but this happened or whatever. And then there's things that the city relays to me, either from a previous event or current, that they can pass along, that I can pass along to you guys, and just keep everybody informed. And then in years past, we've had drawings for different giveaways.
I was gonna
and
say, you
things.
guys give tons of cool
So-
stuff away.
So that comes and goes. Some years we got just loads of stuff to give away, and some years we just have a few things, but.
Right.
So because of the giveaways, I actually have to mention something. This happened a couple of years ago, and this really, really tugged at my heartstrings. So you guys had a new pilot, and the pilot didn't have a reserve yet. And somebody had put a reserve up for a giveaway.
Yeah.
And all these pilots that already had reserve or felt like they didn't need one or whatever, they would pass it and let that person get a chance again to draw that reserve. And it was just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool to see everybody kind of unplanned rally
Right.
together that way and say, I've already got one, I don't have a need for a second one, that needs to go somebody who needs it. And it was also really encouraging and neat to see how many people did have them.
Yeah, because
because
you
I think
went
we
through
called
like,
almost 20 people.
yeah, I
before
was
we
gonna
got
say,
to
you went through
somebody
like
who
20
didn't have
guys,
one.
20 folks before you found
And-
somebody who was like, I don't have a reserve.
Yeah,
Can
so
I have
then,
it?
so then like, it just made it that much more exciting for everybody else, is like, we finally got one, and like, you actually need this. Like, you could give away a paramotor, you could give away a wing. It's like, well, I don't,
Everybody out there's probably got a paramotor and a wing.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I could find a use for another one, but like, I could have used a clutch, or I could have used a windsock, or, you know, whatever, but, so that was really cool with.
What's something
with the
you'd
reserve.
like to see in the giveaways?
Put him on the spot.
Yeah.
I did.
It's fun to see maintenance-y type stuff, clutches, carb rebuild kits. Those are things everybody can use. Like, if I win a carb kit, it's not like I'm gonna be like, well, I've already got one. Like, why do I need another one? Like, well, no, I'm gonna need another one.
Right.
Things like that. Some of the fun things like keychains and things like that, you know, stickers. Everybody loves getting new parts and seeing what stickers got thrown in the box, you know. So things that are more generic that apply to everybody across the board, to me seems like it adds value. You know, getting free shirts and things like that is cool, but if it's not a brand that you care about, are you gonna wear it? Well, maybe you'll make it your shop shirt. Or
Right.
maybe it's the brand you love and you really wanted that shirt, so. But
Yeah.
the heart behind it is what makes it fun, and people know that. And
Well, I just figured if you put it out there, you know, everybody that's watching can be like, oh, maybe that's what I'll put in the
Yeah,
in the
for
giveaway this year.
yep.
So, I gotta tell you, man, this has been an awesome conversation. Now, we're not done yet,
Yep.
but we've got to pay the bills here real quick.
Sure.
So, again, we're sponsored by Cancook America, Light Flight, and JDW Printing and Beyond. So real quick, I want to take everybody over to the Cancook website. If you have any need for a paramotor or want something cool to check out, Cancook America provides one of the most modular paramotor systems that I've ever seen. Reach out to these guys. Fantastic customer service, trikes, parts, paramotors, accessories. These things are built by skilled craftsmen and just absolutely fun and a blast to fly. And so if you have any need for a paramotor, go to CancookAmerica.com, reach out to them. Not only that, if you order something from Cancook and mention Paramotor Coast to Coast, you will get a free shipping to anywhere in the U.S. on any order over $99 or more. And then our other great sponsor is Light Flight. These guys are our local provider for Vitarazi motors. And again, the 2025 MY25 Vitarazi has been dropped. You can get an EFI through these guys. All the support, parts, rebuild kits, whatever you might need. And then on top of that, Light Flight provides propellers, reserves, helmets, throttles, flight suits, anything like that you could possibly need for your paramotoring fun. So reach out to them, lightflight.us. And then one of our other providers, they're actually changing their phone number here real quick, and we'll have graphics for them, but they provided this beautiful banner behind us with all our sponsors and what on it, and it's JDW Printing and Beyond. You can find them on Facebook. And if you look into the comments, you'll be able to find a local phone number. They'll ship anywhere in the U.S. And a couple of things they're doing, if you mention Paramotor Coast to Coast, you'll get 15% off any order. And on top of that,
10% of
10% of all August proceeds go to
Jade Lear.
Jade Lear for the loss of Eric. So, and I don't know what I'd do without you. Join them on the internet and go hang out and check out JDW Printing and Beyond. Now, the other one I want to talk about, and I mentioned these guys, there's no sponsorship here, but if you are looking to fly, of course, give us a call. We can help you find a pilot, instructor or whatnot in your area, or help guide you. But the USPPA.org is a great resource for anything that you might need paramotor-wise. They help with training. One of the things that I loved about, or love about the USPPA is they've standardized training for the instructors and the student. That way, you know what to expect. You can actually, if you're just wanting to go check it out, go download the PPG-1 syllabus and, kind of get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Also, nice thing about these guys is they also offer waivers for landowners and stuff like that. So if there's a place you do want to fly and you're already flying, and there's a place you do want to fly, download the waiver.
Yeah.
Landowner waiver, and that way you'll have something to give that landowner to give them peace of mind in case something happens. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is if you're looking to find a school, you can either search by state, or you can kind of just go through here and see who makes you feel the most pink and fuzzy about learning how to fly a paramotor. So again, if you're new and you want to learn more about paramotoring, and you want a good place to leap off and a great organization to do it with, USPPA.org. So, like I said, we need to pay the bills here. Man, another question I've got for you, Landon. EFD is a spectacular event. And, what are the things you want to add in years? Do you have anything in particular that you want to do more of, do less of, add to? What's your hopes? Are you looking for bigger sponsors? Kind of give me a rundown of what you're looking to do in the next few years.
I would like to get a little more community involvement. Not that they're not involved, but I would just like to
Right.
be able to build on what we're getting in place now with destination flights. I've
Coupon
got
big for pilots or something?
something, yeah.
Maybe if they host a craft show, we can all buzz in.
Yeah, just more things like that, just to provide options for pilots that you don't have to participate in. But hey, if you want to have a little bit more of a purpose rather than just going out and doing circles out over there, if you want to go and do, a lot of.
We like to do
Right.
circles.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that's all their flight experience is. Whether it's where they live and where they have to fly from, they can't ever go and do. And so all they do is they take off from the same spot every time, they fly the same route, and they come in and they land. And that's all they've ever experienced. They've never experienced taking off here, flying here, and landing, and then taking off again, and maybe even going somewhere else and then coming back home. It
Yeah.
seems like such a simple little thing, but it just absolutely changes the whole feel of the flying experience. Last year, flying to these places for meals, my wife and I had driven out there ahead of time to put eyes on the ground, because anybody who flies knows as soon as you tell somebody you fly, they're like, oh, well, I've got a big backyard, you can fly to my place. And then you look at it and it's like, you have a big backyard for town, but your backyard is 50 feet by 50 feet.
Right.
Right.
I can't land there. Or
Or you
They-
have a power line
they
that runs
forgot
right
to tell
through the
you
middle.
about the power lines on all four sides, something like that. And so I'd looked at all these properties on Google Maps, and it's like, okay, they're open enough, but what does it really look like? And so I met up with the owners and we looked at it in person. And then even then, once we got to AFD, Rick and I flew to these properties and actually landed at them and verified you can land here, you can take off here, so that I could legitimately tell people in the briefing, I have flown here.
Right.
It's doable, and then that let me judge what's the skill level of this place. Like, oh, this is a beginner place, no problem for anybody, or it's a little tight. If you want to go, I suggest you circle around and look at it, get a feel for it, just to know it's not a football field. So,
Right.
just to make sure I wasn't promoting something that wasn't wise
Right.
to promote.
Well, and
we-
they'd still welcome us, like, if we
Oh,
get
yeah.
rained out, because, like, we got rained out that first year with the caterer
Yeah.
and then with the church group.
Yeah,
Um,
so, yeah, and all of these.
they wanted us to fly, but it was
Well, yeah.
raining, so we just drove.
And with all of these, that's kind of how this is set up, of they're providing a meal, period. If we fly, fantastic. If it's too windy, it's too rainy, whatever, they want us to drive over. Like, it's
Yeah.
a free meal provided.
They still want us.
They're still
And
cooking.
Yeah, they still want us there. So yeah, that's something I would like to see continue to grow, and maybe get into like a rotation where I've got so many groups that it's like, well, we'll do these 3 places this year, these 3 places next year, these 3 the year after, so that they're not all getting burned out on providing a meal for 100+ people every year. But get through a rotation, and then it's different every year. We're not going to the same spots. But then maybe include some activities that can tie in those places as well.
Absolutely.
So another question, you'd mentioned skill levels. So at EFD, you I tell my students too, this is not a place for first year flight.
Right.
So you've kind of got a skill requirement or instructor, be present. Tell me a little bit about that.
So this was in place when I took it over, and it made sense to me, so I kept it. That we prefer a PPG-2 rating or higher if you're going to fly there, or somebody to vouch for your skill. Because I understand you may have the skill, but you've never had the opportunity to take your PPG-2 test.
Right.
Whether it's the written or the physical flying ability.
Some people don't even join the USPPA.
And some people don't even join. So you may be way beyond a PPG-3, but you don't have the rating. But if somebody can say, hey, I've flown with him, he knows what he's doing, she knows what she's doing, that's fine. Because what we're going for there is, to say it in a lighthearted way, we just don't want somebody to Wile E. Coyote the side of somebody's camper. You know,
That's lighthearted.
we want to know that you can get it down in a specified area and not be like, oh, I'm fine, and then the next thing you know, now we've got a damaged camper, we've got a damaged paramotor, somebody headed to the hospital for stitches. That's what we want. And in that, we also know that if you've got your PPG-2 rating, you've been flying long enough to have developed some good judgment. And
Yeah.
Which
I shouldn't
sometimes,
fly right now, or this is more crowded than I want it to be, I'm gonna go over here, or, and we've got air bosses that are just, they are there. I almost don't like the term air boss, because that implies authoritative, whatever. They are there to help and assist. And so if you want to fly, but where you're at is too crowded with people trying to get out or come in, they'll haul you to an empty spot. We've got tons of room.
oh, absolutely.
flag somebody
They are
down.
so supportive.
Yeah.
And, there has to be some kind of, authority, otherwise it'd be an absolute
Well, absolutely,
circus. I
yeah.
mean, I've been there getting ready
Right.
to launch and somebody just zip in front of me and cut me off.
Yeah.
Mid-run.
Right.
And, so these guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
And all of them, I have to say, are big-hearted.
Oh, yeah.
They're easygoing.
Yep.
They're smart. They're pilots themselves.
They are.
And, they're not there to give you a bad time, but they're definitely there to enhance what you're doing.
Absolutely.
They always seem to have little trainees with them too.
Yeah, yeah.
The kids have a lot of fun with
Yeah,
them.
yeah. They are definitely very skilled in their flying as well. We've had people ask if they could assist with airbossing, and it's like, well, you don't fly yet. So it's not that you don't know what's going on, but you kind of don't know what's going on,
Right.
type of a thing. And so these guys do know what's going on. They're willing to jump in and help you reset a wing if you blow a launch, but they're also not going to be offended if you don't want help. And so if you're the kind of guy that, you know, I've had them personally help me reset a wing, and I will stand there half turned around and watch them and make sure
Right.
they do it the way I want it done. Like, I don't want to just stand there facing ready to launch and be like, well, this guy fixed my wing and I have no idea what he did to it.
Right.
I watch him, make sure, okay, you know, and if it's straightening out a wing, that's no big deal. But if you want help, they're there. If you don't want the help, they're not going to be offended if you wave them off. But my big thing is, I don't want them to be viewed in such a way that if the air boss comes riding up to you on a golf cart, your first thought is, oh crap,
Oh,
what I did
now
wrong.
what?
Because
Right.
Yeah.
most of the time, they're just wanting to talk and visit. And
Yeah.
because they're super friendly, they want to be involved as well. And so that's
Well,
kind
it's
of
their
more,
event too.
yeah, it's their event too. And so that's how I want it to be for them, that they're not just out there being this authority that everybody should be afraid of. And, you know, it's kind of a funny story. Last year I had a friend who's wanting to get into flying, came out, and so he's hanging out with me and asking questions and stuff. And one of my instructors was there, who is a phenomenal pilot, far beyond what I will ever be. He's actually the inspiration of the EFD logo. So when you see that, that's modeled after him. He was getting ready to clip into his wing and launch, and I said, Joe, let's run out here really quick and you can watch him clip in. And you, because he was asking, well, what are you hanging from? And how do you control it and everything? And so, you know, I'm explaining the risers, but you can't picture that. I said, well, let's just go out and watch him. And so I'm walking up to my own instructor, and he sees me, the organizer of the event, and he said it out loud jokingly. He's like, crap, what'd I do? And I'm like, I'm not that guy. Like, so he was kind of laughing about it, but it's like, you of all people would be the last person I would have to talk to about anything. But yeah, we want it to be fun for everybody. And if you're a new pilot and you don't have those ratings, you're still welcome to come out. It is a massive learning experience, regardless of if you fly or not. So
Absolutely.
I understand, you know, if you're 8 hours away, that's a long trip to make to not fly. But for guys here local in this area, absolutely come out.
Still doing kite wars and the foot drag
We'd like to.
competition?
Yep, providing we get weather that's good enough for it and not too good enough for it.
Yeah.
You know, we had,
Go Kansas.
yeah, we had a kiting war several years ago before I actually took it over, that we had to call it off mid-event because people were getting drugged down the field, and we had one guy
no.
get picked up off the ground and slammed into his head.
Oh,
He was fine, but it's like, no, we don't
thank
need
God
to
for
be,
helmets.
we don't need to be clipped into large amounts of material right now. So,
Right.
but yeah, anything we can do to involve the pilots, give them something to do other than just sit around and continue and involve the community.
Well, and two, if you don't fly, I would say this is an excellent event for tandems. Again,
Yeah.
if you're not flying and you want to experience the sport, come out. I'm not sure if there's a cost or what that cost is on the tandems, but
Typically $100 for the introductory flights, but that is a fantastic way to come out, because I've talked to so many people who say, I've seen your pictures, I've seen the videos, I follow so-and-so online, I think it looks like a blast, I have no idea if I'd like it. Well, come out and get a flight. You'll get
See
the
if you like
chance
it.
to see if you like it. You'll
Yeah.
be able to talk to your pilot while he's flying and ask questions. He'll be able to explain things to you. It's a fantastic way to see. I have not heard of anybody who took a tandem flight and said, yeah, it's not what I wanted.
Well,
Yeah.
you've had a few that are bucket listers. That
Sure,
are-
that they wanted to do it, now
Yeah.
they've checked it off, and that's good, but,
Yeah, you got the opportunity to fly with your mom.
yeah, Yeah, my mom went up 2 years ago. We had some downtime in between spectators wanting to go up for a flight, and Rick said, "Hey, I've got time for one. Do you want to send somebody up?" And my parents were there, and my grandpa was there, and so I went over and asked Grandpa if he wanted to go, and he just laughed. He said, "You guys can keep that crazy stuff to yourself." He's like, "I'm fine right down here." So I turned to Mom and I said, "Well, do you want to go?" And she said, "Well, I guess." Like, just sprung it on her. And she's afraid of heights, so that was a little interesting for her. She enjoyed being up there and experiencing what it was, but, Rick's talking to her during the flight and explaining stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, we're about 400 feet up," and she's like, "I don't really care to know that right now." but she's thankful she got to do it, and now knows kind of what I experience when I'm up there.
Yeah.
And she's really artistic and into photography and stuff, so she always appreciates the pictures and stuff. So to be able to be up there herself did mean a lot to her. And so that was fun that now she's been able to experience that as well and kind of see what her son got into.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You talk to some people and we're all absolutely crazy and psychotic, and how could you imagine doing that under a bed sheet
Yep.
with a box fan attached to your back? But
Well, and she's a parent. She's watching her kid randomly leave the ground on purpose. She
Yeah.
needs to make sure that now she
Yep.
now she can have a little bit more ease when you say things like, "I'm gonna go fly off into the sunset, Mom.
Yep.
I'll see you later."
Yep.
run into the sky.
Yep.
Well, I've had an absolute blast with you. So when it comes to foot drag and whatnot, do you have anything you want to add? Something we might not have touched base on? I like to get everybody's big theory of everything. What do you got for me?
I think we're good. I do have some things planned that I haven't announced yet, just fun events for people. So if you don't come, you don't get to find out. So
Oh,
Okay. And
extra
you said,
incentive.
yes,
you said admission $60,
$60.
and that's for camping, everything.
That's for whatever you're doing. So if it's
What about
60
non-pilots? Is there a charge for
non-pilots,
them?
no charge for non-pilots. So if you're a married couple, husband flies, wife doesn't, she just comes along for free. I've got different wristbands for family members so that we know that they are allowed to be there, because we do try to separate the camping area from the public area so that people coming don't have to worry about random public walking around and looking in your camper while you're out flying. We keep them away.
Right.
So we give wristbands to non-flying family members who come along so that we know you're allowed to be here, but you're not allowed on the LZ. So
Because there's a public area and then a pilot's area.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have a
What
spot.
about spectators? Are they free to get in, or?
Spectators are free, so if you want to come watch and ask questions. Spectators are allowed into the vendor area because that's where gear is at. So we want
Yeah.
you to be able to come and see it in person and ask questions and just
Absolutely.
gain knowledge. So yeah,
Well,
Cool.
great
fantastic.
time.
Landon, I gotta tell you, I've had an absolute blast. The pictures were
Good.
awesome. The video of the waterfall, that has gotta be a bucket list trip and was
Yeah.
just absolutely spectacular. I hope I get to do something like that pretty soon.
I hope everybody does. I had learned about that Iceland trip before I even learned to fly. And so that was kind of like I want to learn to fly,
Destination.
but that's why I want to learn to fly. And so then to pull it off was.
Rick
was
tells us
incredible.
that Darlene's dad foot launched tandems last year.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so my wife, Darlena, has tandem twice. She's foot launched and trike. My brother-in-law has foot launched. My father-in-law has foot launched. My mom has trike launched. So now that the rest of
family
my
affair.
now that the rest of my wife's family has gone, my mother-in-law's like, okay, I guess it's my turn now. So might try to get her up on a tandem sometime here soon, and then my brother has trike launched as well. He would have foot launched, but you got to go with the gear available. So
Right.
be fun to get my sister up sometime, and I've got a niece now that I think would be fun to get her up, but she's just 3, so we got time.
Yeah. there's
He
a couple
doesn't know
minutes
I
in.
have a waiting list for him as soon as he's got his.
Yeah.
I've only got like 29 cousins, it's fine.
Yeah.
So give us the date again, Foot Drag 2025.
September 21st through the 27th.
All right.
Sunday to Sunday.
And you
All
said it opens up at 3?
3 p.m. on Sunday, the 21st.
Okay, fantastic. $60 to get in if
Yeah.
you are a pilot or for anybody else that flies. And then it's free for spectators. So I'm going to tell you guys, this is the event. I absolutely love it. I've been 2 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think, you
All
know,
of our
for
best stories
Kansas.
come from EFD.
Yeah, and for Kansas, you know, for a fly-in, this is the end-all, be-all.
Yeah.
So, well, Landon, I got to tell you, man, you've been an absolute blast. You've got such good stories. We've had such a blast with you. You know, and for everybody out there, again, don't miss Endless Foot Drag.
Yeah.
Landon, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out and join us.
Absolutely.
And also for everybody out there, if you're looking to fly, go join and check out the usppa.org. If you're looking for equipment, cangookAmerica.com. Or if you're looking for accessories and Vitarazi parts and maybe some motors, that's lightflight.us. And for all your printing needs and anything that way, go check out JDW Printing and Beyond. So I got to tell you, you know, doing this from the hangar, it was a lot of work and a lot of setup, but I think it was a success.
I think so.
Absolutely had a blast. We can't wait to have Landon out again. Again, this is Wichita Paramotor, coast to coast, where we talk about paramotor stuff with paramotor people about paramotor things. We will absolutely see you guys next time.